There you see David Beats, who will be the starting pitcher for the Vancouver, Washington, Columbia River Brewers, making a repeat appearance in the ISC Legends Championship game. They'll be taking on Ohio Battery out of Ashland, Ohio, one of the perennial powerhouses since the inception of the ISC Legends division. Welcome to the ISC Network. It's Championship Saturday. Blair Setford here on ISC YouTube, ISC Network, bringing you the Legends Championship game. Ohio Battery got to this game with a fairly easy 11-1 win over, or 11-2 maybe, over USA Maccabi, while the CR Brewers took the long extended route, 8 hard innings with Toronto DF Ridge. The Brewers avenging the 2019 defeat in the Legends Championship game in extra innings with a 9-8 come-from-behind win. Dieppe had taken an 8-5 lead in the top of the 8th, but the Brewers were able to push across 4 in the bottom and get to the championship game for the second straight season. Leading off for the Ohio Battery squad, it's Mark Pothier. He'll be followed by Bill Birkenpaw, then Rick Sanders. Chad Boom was having a real good tournament in the cleanup spot. Bruce Bielema, Jim Harms, Tommy Gray, Kevin Shaw, and then in the 9 spot it's Steve Myers for Ohio. Called Strike. For Portland, we'll try to decipher the handwriting on the lineup card, but it looks like Dave DeMaio is out and left. In center field, Alex Alicio. Troy Groh is playing right field. Over at third, it's Dean Waltier, as this ball is listed up and foul. Shortstop, Robert Mendables, I believe is what this one's. Albert Mendables. Second base is Larry Machado. And then over at first, it's Rich Siegenthaler. And as we talked about, it's David Beats, and he's pitching to Tony Oresco. So ground out by Pothier leading off. And that'll bring up Bill Birkenpaw. Birkenpaw was in contention for amongst the leading RBI guys. Shout out to good friend Rich Haldane back in the Kelowna, British. Rich would have been here with the CR Brewers, but a leg injury prevents Rich from being with us, and tuned in on the ISC Network. Beats is out of the Oklahoma area. Swing and a miss. Now I'm going by memory on that. I do stand to be corrected, but I thought that David Beats was out of the Oklahoma area. Bill Birkenpaw at the plate, as I mentioned, having a very good tournament. Well for 18, so how about 667 with 9 RBIs? That's a pretty good tournament, but down on strikes here. The curse of the broadcaster alive and well. So Rick Saunders step in. Saunders, the designated player for Ohio Battery today. Swing and a foul back. There were 9 teams in the Legends division this year. They were broken out into 2 pools. Pool A had 4 teams. Pool B had 5. So everybody was guaranteed 4 games no matter how you finish. And one team from Pool B was eliminated after the round robin, and the rest were seeded on a crossover basis. This one is foul down the line. So it was A1 play B4, and we'll get rid of the who here in a moment. So each team was seeded into the bracket for the single elimination in the playoffs, A1, B4, A2, B3, et cetera, et cetera. You know the drill. And a little ground ball to the shortstop. Up and over for the third out of the inning. Albert Mendables making that. Terry Luster, the starter for Ohio Battery. Terry won a couple of games in the round robin. He'll face Mike Applegate leading off, and then Alex Alicia, Rich Siegenthaler, Albert Mendables, Dean Waltier, Troy Groh, Dave DeMaio, Larry Machado, Tony Oresco, I believe that's Tony Oresco. And then the designated runner is Darren Michaud. For Ohio Battery on defense, Bill Birkenpaz in left, Mark Pothier in center, Jim Harms, who was doing double duty here this week with the Fargo Kegel Black Knights team, he's in right field. And then around the horn on the infield, Tommy Gray, Chad Boone's playing short, Bruce Bielema is at second, Kevin Shaw at first, Steve Myers behind the plate for Terry Luster. Chop foul by Applegate at the plate. Our pictures, as they have been all week, courtesy of Luciano Lafranco and La Liga Premier Softball. You can find his YouTube channel, Softball Premier TV. Luciano plays in and runs a league in Panama City. How many teams did you say? 60? 60 men's fastball teams. 3 different divisions. Great to see the game flourishing in Latin and South America. And that's why, one of the many reasons why we have Luciano here this week was to help bring the game to our Latin American audience in their language, in Spanish. So Luciano does all the production work with the cameras, chooses the shots. I'm able to take his video feed and then overlay the English commentary. So in effect, we're simulcasting in English and in Spanish, and it has worked well, other than a few glitches here and there. It's never going to be perfect. We don't have the budget of a big TV production, unfortunately, but we do everything that we can to bring you the games here from the ISC World Tournament. Base hit for Mike Applegate, leading off the bottom of the first for the CR Brewers out of Vancouver, Washington. Alex Alicia, center fielder. Called a strike. Our umpires for this game: Rob Duran behind the plate, Glenn Brown at first, and Ed Oliver at third base. And whether it's Legends, ISC 2, or ISC, it is a distinct honor for the Blue Crews to be assigned to a championship game. Three games today on the ISC network. We have the Legends final here. This one just about 45 minutes late getting started due to an extra innings game in the semifinal. Probably 5 o'clock or thereabouts, maybe earlier, maybe later, Central Time, will be Hill United Chiefs and Kitchener-Hallman Twins. That's the losers bracket final. The winner of that will take on the New York Gremlins. Gremlins in the ISC championship game for the 3rd consecutive year, and looking for their 3rd consecutive title to join the ranks of Hill United Chiefs, Jarvis Travelers, Long Beach Nighthawks, all who have 3 or more consecutive championships over the course of the ISC, this prestigious World Men's Club Team Fastpitch Championship, our 75th ISC World Tournament, dating all the way back to 1947, the first one in Phoenix, Arizona. You can only imagine the temperatures in August. It was a little overcast here earlier. In fact, we had a little sprinkling of rain about 40 minutes ago. Since then, the cloud cover is breaking up and the sun is coming out. Here's a little bleeder that is off the foot, down in a bit of a heap, and I don't blame him at the plate. Alex Alicia. Feel your pain, my man. I've done that a couple times. Three straight consecutive championships. Polk Packers, 50-52. Mary Star All-Stars, San Pedro, California, 52-54. Jarvis Travelers, of course, 2010 to 2012, and then the Hill United Chiefs, 2013 to 2015. Long Beach Nighthawks won 6 in a row from 1955 to 1960. And the overlap there in 52, of course, there was the National Softball Congress as well as the International Softball League. At that point, the organizations would merge. After starting together, they would merge again in 57. Swing and a miss. On the move is the runner, Applegate. Bit of an awkward slide there, but nonetheless he got the arm in and still showing the wheels. 50 plus to play in the ISC Legends division. You need to be turning 50 in the year that you're playing. Rich Siegenthaler now at the plate. And that one, umpire saying it hit the wrist and then the bat. Down on one knee is Siegenthaler behind the plate. It certainly hit something solid because we could hear it out here. See Siegenthaler down on the one knee in your frame there. As we mentioned, the CR Brewers Legends squad, this is their second straight appearance in the championship game. Ohio Battery has 3 appearances in the championship game, 2 titles. They were in the championship in 2011, again in 13 and in 17. They won those latter 2, dropped the game in 2011 to a team out of Cuba City in Wisconsin. So Albert Mendables will come to the plate, the shortstop for the CR Brewers squad. And a pair of runners aboard. This one skips through the wickets on Steve Myers, and everybody will move up 60 feet. So now a pair of runners in scoring position opportunity for CR Brewers to take the lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Terry Luster pitched a number of years in the ISC World Tournament from 1990 through at least 2011. won 30 games in the ISC World Tournament. What an accomplishment, Terry Luster. This one is well hit to center. Coming back to the fence. And that ball dropped in. Mendibles will get around to third and drove in too, as I think the center fielder there for Ohio Battery, Mark Pothier, he got tangled up in the fence as that ball took him right back to the base of the fence. But a quick 2-0 lead for CR Brewers here in the bottom of the first inning. Sigenthaler, we're going to give him a triple just because we're generous today in the Legends division and a couple of RBIs. Sorry, Mendibles. And Dean Waltier comes to the plate. Ground ball out to second. Dive from his knees. A good play by Bruce Bielema, a former Legends MVP. Bruce Bielema, the MVP back in 2011, 10 years ago. And I can remember Bruce Bielema with the Thompson City Merchants. Or Thompson Merchants, at least, anyway. Inside. Troy Groh, the batter. Misses downstairs. And again, just missed downstairs. Ball four. Luster just can't quite find the range down there right now. So a walk. And that will bring up Dave DeMaio. Want to say hello to Ward Goss watching out in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Goss, the most valuable pitcher back in 2018. Goss that year with Goss, the most valuable player. Goss with Sudbury Relics. They won the ISC Legends division. Troy Groh was replaced by Darren Michaud, who is the designated runner. So you can place or replace any runner once in an inning with Darren Michaud. It's basically a free substitution. On the move is Michaud. Boy, he's going to be winded just from the wind sprints that he's doing here from first to second. That's 3 foul offs in a row where he's been running. Might want to not look over at the coach the next pitch. On the move again, swing and a miss. So the strikeout, DeMaio. Vancouver, Washington, CR Brewers, they get 2. And through 1 complete, they'll take that 2-0 lead. Ohio Battery come to the plate in the top of the second. Stay with us here on the ISC Network. So you sharp-eyed viewers out there, you reminded me that Dean Waltier on the ground out actually drove in Albert Mendables. With all the things on the go here, we missed that one in the booth. So it's actually 3-0 for the Brewers. So thank you for pointing that one out. Ohio Battery, Chad Boom, Bruce Bielema, Jim Harms, scheduled batters. Boom, another guy who's having a whale of a tournament. And did they get him at first? Yep, looks like they did, as Boom tried to dive to avoid the tag. Doing that one himself, second baseman Larry Machado. One of the few times anybody has been able to get Chad Boom out. Batting .545 coming into today. They've already played the 1 game. He had 9 RBIs before we started, and with an 11-2 victory, I'm quite sure that Chad was probably in the middle of that. Just foul down the right side. Swing and a miss there by Bruce Bielema. What was an overcast and gray morning in Eldridge, Iowa has turned out to be a stunning afternoon. We've got some high white clouds along with some bright sunshine, blue skies, and a breeze just to keep things sane as the temperature climbs into the 80s in Eldridge. Foul back. The way the wind has turned today, it's now blowing straight into our faces here in right field. So definite benefit. Back here on the ISC network, Terry Luster will face Larry Machado, who just made that good defensive play. Tony Oresco, catcher, and then back to the top of the shop for Mike Applegate. Ohio had the easier of the roads here to the championship game, an 11-2 5-inning win over USA Maccabi. For the CR Brewers, it was a much tougher row to hoe. They were locked in a back-and-forth battle with Toronto Dieppe Ridge. That game back and forth, back and forth. Toronto had the lead, then CR, then Toronto. In the top of the seventh, Toronto took a one-run lead, up 5-4. And the Brewers battled back to tie in the bottom of the seventh. Top of the eighth, Toronto scored 3, but couldn't bar the door, and the Brewers would score 4 in the home half of the eighth. So the final 9-8. And the Brewers rolled right into this one. Some hot backs as Larry Machado lead-off walk. And Tony Aceto, apologies for the mispronunciation earlier. The hieroglyphics turned in on the lineup card made it a little difficult to decipher. Bunted, but foul up over the plate. I was over watching some of the Dieppe Ridge game. I was sitting with one of my fellow commissioners, Chris Santos, who is with the Pueblo Bandits team and knows a number of the players on the CR Brewers squad. So we watched somebody on the Brewers team. It might have been Tony Aceto. Somebody put down a really good bunt anyway. And I turned to Chris, and we just kind of smiled, and he said, yeah, the old guys still know how to do it. Ground ball to short. They go to second for 1. Back to first. Can't get Tony Aceto. Board on the fielder's choice. Machado erased out at 2. Good turn there by Chad Boone and Bruce Bielema. Mike Applegate to the plate, and Darren Michaud in to run as the designated runner. Darren Michael, apologies again on figuring out the names here. On the move is Michael. Slide is in. The throw is over the head of the shortstop. Boom, but that's as far as Michael's going to go right now. So up into scoring position on the play. Stolen base for Mr. Michael. Luster misses outside. Applegate down on strikes, and that'll bring up Alicio. Michael comes all the way around to score on that play. And Alicio keeps the inning alive for the CR Brewers Legends, and they extend their lead. So multiple coaches wandering around the infield, making changes and having conversations. Pitching change for Ohio Battery is their new pitcher is Brent Stevenson. Brent Stevenson has been a two-time winner of the ISC Legends Championship game. Most outstanding pitcher in both 2013 and 2017, the years that Ohio Battery took the Legends Championship. Brent pitched in tandem with David Scott of the Decatur Pride throughout the 80s and won 23 games in just 7 years between 80 and 87, 8 seasons. It's in pretty good company with Jimmy Wana also winning 23 games in the ISC. Luster just goes an inning and 2/3. Gives up the 4 runs. And he'll be responsible for Alex Alicia, who's aboard there on that error.